beat, tempo, duration, time signature, meter, duple, triple, allegro, andante, largo, quarter notes, half notes, whole notes. These are some words that describe what we call rhythm. A rhythm is a big part of music. And today I'm starting a new series on rhythm. Welcome back to Live Love Piano. I'm Kristina Lee. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe. And if you're kind of new to piano and looking for a great place to start, or you might just need a fresh start, please check out my course, Simple and Beautiful Piano for Adult Beginners. Even though I teach piano, I never think of my job as teaching people how to play the piano. I think of my job as teaching people how to become musicians. And I use the piano as the vehicle to achieve that. So what does it mean to become a musician? I believe that it's more than playing an instrument. I believe that it is having a deeper understanding of music and being able to see the behind the scene of how music was made and being empowered to make your own music. That's what I wish for every one of my students. And I do believe that this ability to create your own music through a deeper understanding and practice of an instrument is possible for virtually everyone. In order to do that, we have to look at the fundamental aspects of how music works and what music is. You know, all these words that we throw, right? Rhythm and beat and tempo, like what is that? So this talk is gonna be about pondering upon those aspects at a very fundamental and elemental level before we go on to talking about the rhythmic exercises you need and what kind of rhythmic understanding and exercise you need to be successful on the piano. Today we're going to look at rhythm from 4 different perspectives: time, space, gravity, and heartbeat. Time. It's straightforward. Music happens in time. If time didn't exist, music cannot exist, because we experience music through time, whether it is performing, watching a live performance, or even listening to recorded music. We need time. And in that sense, you can say that time is the canvas that holds music. But there's another aspect. It's not just time, there's also space. Space is the environment where music happens, because you could be spending same amount of time performing or listening to music, but whether you're in a small space or a big cathedral or performance hall, your experience of music is different. So time is the primary canvas, but space is where that canvas is stretched. At the same time, music has its own time. I'm going to call this heartbeat. Every music has its own heartbeat. When we think of music, it's less about minutes and seconds and more about feeling that heartbeat. We call this steady beat in music. And that steady beat, whether it's boom, 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 or boom, 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 or ticka, 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 it continues throughout the music. And that's how we can measure music, and that's how we can talk about music. If we don't understand the beat and rhythm, we can't really talk about it because there's no other way to measure music. I'm calling this heartbeat because just like our heart beat sustains our body and gives its life. This steady beat is what gives music life and a structure to sustain itself. And when the music's heartbeat falters, it takes away from its energy. Just like a skipped heartbeat can create a moment of instability in your body. To clarify, music can have accelerandos and retardandos, which means you can speed up or slow down within that music. And sometimes you play what is called rubato, which is very freestyle. But even when you do that, we keep a sense of beat. When someone plays without this sense of beat, it's very obvious. And immediately the quality of your music suffers. So in order for you to be a musician and play the piano successfully, you have to really understand this heartbeat, the steady beat. What is the steady beat of piece of music, and how does that maintain its stability? This is really fundamental to being able to make music. Steady beat is not just mechanical pulse. Yes, you can practice with metronome, and you should, but at the end of the day, the heartbeat of music is much more alive and much more dynamic and flexible than the metronome. But unlike our heartbeat, in music there are beats that are heavier versus lighter, or you can say stronger versus weaker. I like to use the imagery of heaviness because I feel like heavy expresses movement. And I think in music, when we talk about beats, it is always tied with some kind of movement. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not just the force, but there is a choreography that's tied to the heaviness or lightness of the music. This explains why dancing needs music. The movement needs music. And under this concept of gravity of music, there is hierarchy. Some beats are more important than the others. For example, if you have 4/4 and you have 4 beats per measure, which means you're constantly counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You see how I just naturally emphasize the 1? Usually it's the beat 1 that is stronger and more important than the other beats. And this gravity in beats organizes music into groupings of beats. That's the beginning of time signature. And when we talk about time signature, usually they're duple or triple, like 1, 2, 1, 2, even 1, 2, 3, 4 is duple, or triple, where you're counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The gravity of music is not just caused by rhythm, but also is caused by melody and harmony. This is something that I really love to talk about because I think it's the gravity and transcending the gravity and feeling the gravity that brings so much excitement to music. And this is probably what we feel. The emotion that's behind the music has a lot to do with the gravity of music. This marks the end of my first talk, the elemental aspects of rhythm. We haven't even talked about actually rhythmic patterns. But I wanted to just start here so you can be opening your mind when you listen to your music, when you play, when you practice. Think about that steady heartbeat and think about what it does to your music. And think about the gravity of music and this beautiful thing that music happens in time. And because it's so elusive, that it's so beautiful, it's so fleeting, yet it's so close to us and intimate to us. I hope I leave you with some things to think about. I just hope that actually it just reminds you of how magical music is. So join me again next time as I continue this series on rhythm. We're going to go deeper into rhythmic patterns, and we're also going to talk about how to practice rhythm, and if you're practicing piano, what's really needed to be successful in piano. So please take care, and I'll see you soon again.